Malone up ahead, Sedale 3. And it's blocked by ML Carr. Oh, when you're hot, you're hot.
I didn't think ML was going to get to it, but he sure hustled. Here's ML really putting on all he's got and gets in at it. Treat was kind of lollygagging up there.
Was.
What made you first aware of wanting to be part of Culture City?
Well, it was very simple. When I met Dr. Maha, it was pretty obvious his passion for this and his commitment to it. And first of all, you go by the people and his commitment to making sure that he provided an opportunity for families from special needs families. And when I saw the level of commitment, I said, I'm in. I have no problem with being a part of someone that's that committed to it.
How would you define a hero?
A hero is someone who's gone beyond the call of duty to help their fellow man, period. If you look at the folks that have gone on to help lighten the load for their fellow man, they're heroes. And that comes in a lot of different ways. It could be financially, it could be just really helping somebody out of a tough situation, or leading a charge to better the lives of others. So a hero is a person that really is committed to or doing something that's going to make life a little bit better for the next person.
Who is your hero? And did you ever have a hero?
I did, and it started with my father. My father was a guy who never complained. He saw the best in whatever was presented to him, and so he was a hero to me. But then I had other heroes. One of the heroes I was thinking about it as I was driving into Birmingham, with the guy that wrote the letter from the Birmingham jail, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I never met him. I was fortunate enough to spend some time with Coretta in Boston, and I was able to tell her about her husband being my hero. And lastly, there was a person that I feel like it's been maybe not my hero, but more of a role model. It's hard to say hero because I spent so much time with him. His name is Arnold Red Auerbach, who was the architect of the 17 World Championships with the Boston Celtics. Learned a lot from Red. Red always tried to figure out how to make life a little bit better for all, not just his players, but his front office and everyone else. And so he was a real hero. He made tremendous sacrifices for that organization. People say, well, he got paid. Well, he didn't get paid to the level that he gave. So he would be one.
Would you say your dad was the first hero you've ever had as a growing up?
My dad was the first because, he was dealt a hand that a lot of people would have complained about. He had a third grade education because he had to come out and help his family. He was a common sense guy. Never had much. The most he'd ever made in his life was $5.65 an hour, and that was after I had got him to retire from money that I was making in professional sports. But he couldn't believe that someone would give him a 40-cent raise. So he went back on the job, and when I found out, obviously I took him off of it. But he just never complained. He was always grateful. He was thankful, and very spiritual guy. So he was my first hero.
What would you say to families with an autistic child?
The first thing I would say is that it's amazing that God has entrusted you with that child. It's amazing. What an honor. My daughter just had my fourth granddaughter, and there was concern that she was going to have Down syndrome. And when my daughter and her husband called me, they were really upset, very tearful. I said, if God gives us an opportunity to take care of a Down syndrome child, what an honor. He believes we can do that. He's entrusting that kid in our care. Well, she didn't have Down syndrome, but she did have permanent hearing loss in her right ear. And even that was a challenge for them. And I said, think about it. Just think about it. This is God speaking to us, saying that here's a kid can be a role model for other folks. We can be role models as parents and grandparents. So what I would say to that family that's been entrusted with a child that has special needs, what a blessing.
Have you ever dreamed of being somebody's hero?
You know, having a life of professional sports is my background. I realized that I was a role model. As far as a hero, I'm not so sure. I would hope that I would be to my kids. I know that there were big shoes to fill that my father had. And if they would say, if my son and my two daughters said that I was their hero at some point, I would feel very blessed. There are folks out there. Matter of fact, there was a young lady who's in a major accident up in Huntsville, Alabama, and for whatever reason, I came on at the right time. She was bleeding profusely from her arm and her head, and I ran out and I, grabbed her arm and I sort of held the bleeding, put a tourniquet on, and held her there. So it was funny. She came back. She found out where I was working. She came back and she said, "I came looking for my angel. I've never been called an angel ever before in my life." So she said, "No, you are my angel. We all have angels. And you had not come along at that time, I probably wouldn't be here." And it was an interesting perspective, but I said, "No, I guess I'm not the angel. But I'm glad that my mom in heaven is hearing it from you," because she thought I was the other side. So it was, I think that was probably the closest thing.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A lawyer. That has been the thing that has escaped me all these years. As a matter of fact, when I signed my last contract with the Celtics as a player, I signed it being paid over 3 years, so I'd be paid within law school. These opportunities kept coming, and they sort of passed me by. And last year I went in and audited a class at the Harvard Law, and all the kids were cheering me on and said, "Do it, do it, do it." So I'm still contemplating. I may end up doing this. At 64 years old, I may end up going back to law school.
What does it mean to you personally to be a hero with Culture City?
It means that I've joined a group of people that are very passionate about giving back to a segment of our community that's in need, families that have special need kids. So to be a part of that is a different type team. It's not a sports team, it's a team of life. Same principle, sharing, giving, working together, a common goal. And that common goal is, once again, to lighten the load of families that are dealing with special needs. So I'm excited about it. And there's some real stars in that group.